Good morning, 2A. So today for reading, we are going to be talking about main idea. So main idea is something that we talked about a little bit while we were still at school. But today we're going to review what main idea is. You're going to reread or re-listen to the Butterfly Scholastic News issue, and then you are going to complete a main idea graphic organizer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen because I have an anchor chart that we have here. Okay, so here's our anchor chart. So main idea is what the text is mostly about. And when I think of main idea, I like to think of a cloud. And then all of the rainbow arcs that come off a cloud are our details or sentences that tell more about, describe, or explain the main idea. So when I think about what a story is mostly about, that's the main idea. And ways that I can figure out what the story is mostly about is these things over here above the clouds. So I'm going to look for clue words that are repeated. So if I think about, are there any words that the author uses over and over? Like maybe if I'm reading a book and I hear dogs like to sleep on beds, dogs like to go for walks, dogs like to run in sprinklers. I hear the word dogs a lot, so I'm thinking the main idea might be about dogs. You can also ask yourself, what is the text mostly about? Because sometimes it's right there and it tells you like, oh, I know what I'm reading about. I'm reading about how penguins lay eggs. And that could be your main idea, is that penguins lay eggs. Then you're going to look at the title, the headings, and any pictures, because the title of a book usually also helps us with the main idea, and so do any pictures in the book or the article. And then you're going to reread the first and the last section of your text to be able to also figure out the main idea. So if you're rereading the first little bit and the last little bit, we call the first little bit the introduction. It's where the author kind of tells us what they're going to be teaching us about. And then the last bit's what we call the summary, and it kind of reviews what we've already talked about. So those are also really good for the main idea. So what you're going to do today is you're going to find the main idea, and then you're going to find 3 details that support the main idea, which means that they're describing, they're telling us more about, or they're explaining the main idea. And we'll talk about that in a minute. So in order to do this, you are going to have to go back to your Scholastic News. Remember, you're going to log in with SJP20 as your password for your classroom. You're going to come right back to this Butterflies Are Back issue. And I'm going to open my issue. If you wanted to review the vocabulary or the video, that's something that you can do as well. But I'm going to go right into my issue so I can show you. So I'm going to reread or re-listen to this. And already looking at these pictures, I see something in all of the pictures that's really helping me to figure out the main idea of this article. So I'm already seeing a lot of these. So that's helping me figure out the main idea. I can reread. So if I reread this beginning section and this end section, that will also help me figure out the main idea. And then if I'm reading, I'm going to think about, are there any words that I'm hearing over and over again? And right now I can tell you that the pictures and the words you're reading over and over may go together. So you need to think about all those things. And then you're going to write the details. So the details are different things that you have learned or know about the main idea. So let me share my screen again to show you what you're going to be filling out today. So sometimes people also think of main idea with an ice cream cone, and they put their main idea here. That's the base. That's what, you can't have an ice cream cone without that cone. You just have ice cream in your hand, and that wouldn't work very well. And then the details get stacked up above the ice cream cone. So you're going to write your main idea here on the cone, and then your 3 supporting details up at the top on the top scoops of the cone. Now, if you don't have a printer, you can just write this on a piece of paper. You can just write the main idea and the details right underneath it. If you do have a printer, you can always print this out and you can fill out the ice cream cone itself. But you're going to write what the text is mostly about here, and then 3 things about that. So if the text of my dog story was that dogs like to play, I'm going to write that right in actually right now so I can show you what this looks like. As I move my little toolbar out of the way. There we go. Okay. So my text is going to be dogs like to play, because maybe I read a book all about how dogs like to play. Now, my supporting details aren't going to be that dogs are furry. They're not going to be that dogs like to lick people. It's not even going to be that dogs eat breakfast and dinner. It's going to be all different ways that dogs like to play, because I have to go off this main idea. So I could say dogs like to play. I could say dogs like to play fetch. That's one thing that they like to play. That's a detail about what they like to play. And then maybe my next cone is dogs like to play tug of war with their toys. So that's another way that dogs like to play. And then my third one would be another way that dogs like to play. I could say that dogs like to chase, like to play chase. They like to do chases. So those are 3 ways that dogs like to play. So I have my main idea at the bottom, and then I gave details about more about that. So this is what you're going to do, but instead of doing it with dogs, you're going to do it on the butterflies article. So if you run into any questions or any trouble with this, send me a Dojo message or an email and I can help you out. We can jump on Zoom or something like that, and I can help you out there. So if you have any questions, reach out to me. I hope everyone has a terrific Thursday, and I will see you all soon.